Hello everybody and welcome to the Grabbing Stuff video. There are a couple of things we forgot to get here, and one of them is a planetoid map which has something that I really want. Okay, Planetoid A2 has a piece of equipment I really want to have before heading into the endgame. This is really just going to be a video about collecting a whole bunch of stuff and dying terribly in some of the endgame planetoids. So you're going to have to bear with me as I try to puzzle out some things that I'm sure I remembered how to do, but apparently didn't. But before we get into any of that, we're going to have to get off this planet. Shouldn't be too hard, we've been through all this before. Which means while I'm playing through this sort of thing, and, you know, dying repeatedly, I'm going to be talking about what I've got planned for the future. Oh boy, your unpowered gun is so weak. So, there are a bunch of places we need to go, and we're even going to have to go all the way back to Area A. That's Area G, we don't go there yet. Okay, we cleared out everything here. And I guess that means that Area A is the next place we go. Now, Area A is an area that I actually... Planetoid A2 is a place that I actually skipped over the first time I played through the game because I couldn't actually figure it out. Why? Because it's a dark room puzzle. Basically, you need to figure out the layout of a room based on how enemies move and how they shoot. And you have to remember, falling kills you. Basically, you need to follow the bubbles and jump accordingly in order to make it through this area. As well as watch how the enemies move and what they don't fall down either. And you should probably climb ladders when they're offered, I'm just saying. The thing is, towards the end of this area, the enemy bubbles can be deceiving in a way. But you have to remember, in order to get through this, that the bubbles only fall straight down. But here's the part I couldn't figure out the first time through. You actually have to duck and crawl through there, despite there being no indication of a crawl space of any kind. Haha, I got... oh! Somehow I didn't remember you just had to walk off and drop at that last point, so... I'm going to be dying quite a bit for quite a while. So as for what I plan to do, I think Blaster Master 02 is going to be my last video game project for this year, because I can't really think of anything I'd like to get started on playing immediately. I'll explain what that does once we get out of this alive. 'Cause I've had some plans for what I want to do, but what I'm finding out with a lot of these creative projects that I do, things that I plan to do tend to stall out against versus things I decide to do spontaneously. Like, I had planned to do Knights of Azure at some point, but I could never really muster the creative drive to actually follow through on that, and trying to start on a project like an RPG without having the real enthusiasm to follow through on it is just going to lead to it falling by the wayside. So, essentially, unless I find a game suddenly that I want to do, like, or want to go on a real tear on for some reason, you shouldn't expect much after Blaster Master 0, at least for a little while. I hope someone's counting the deaths here, because I want to know too. So for me, doing these kinds of projects has to be more than just, oh, this might be interesting to do. I have to basically be, like, frothing zealot level of, I must evangelize this game. And that's how my Emerald Dragon playthrough got started. Because I can't really sustain a creative effort, or I guess in my case more accurately, an uncreative effort, unless there's some, like, absolute uncontestable zeal for the thing. Whether it's a good game or a bad one, I mean, I did follow through on Lagoon. So anyway, we finally got the acceleration burst, and what that does, equipping it allows you to activate the counterblast version of your acceleration rifle at any time. Like, you can just do it as long as you have ammo in that weapon. Okay, here's Planetoid D3, which has a bunch of these dimensional tear barriers, which are going to be the bane of my existence. So the upshot of everything I said is that there isn't really a game right now that I both have the energy to do a deep dive into, and I can actually record. And I don't take suggestions, really, either in this or in many other areas of my life. Like, in my professional capacity, of course I take suggestions, because a lot of what I do involves the input of a lot of other people. But in terms of, like, entertainment stuff, no, I just generally don't. Like, I never take suggestions, or even solicit suggestions for things like anime, because I've been burned pretty hard on that sort of thing in the past. What I do, however, is listen to, like, other people talk about it and show me, hey, this is what's up here. Which is why I listen to things like Podcast of the Galactic Heroes. But if someone says, hey, you should watch X, you just flat out there, like... I'll be like, no thank you, I won't do that. So anyway, I blew up. So we're just gonna have to redo stuff. Yeah, the thing about the last set of pickups is that you can max out your special energy and your life before you enter Area G. There are no extenders, no real power-ups in the endgame level. If you're going to pick up something, you have to pick it up before heading into Sector G. Okay, this is where you need to go. Stupid jumping power-ups. Okay, that special cannon is quite powerful. It costs special energy, but you need to reload after every 6 shots. You can come here earlier, but it doesn't actually give you that much of an advantage against Stein and the Atom. Trust me, I've tried it, I got destroyed anyway. Hey, a save point. Just what I needed. Okay, this is another Horde room, nothing too special here. Just a bunch of enemies we've already figured out how to fight and destroy with no problems. So, now we're out of here. It's time to move on. And This area is painful. The thing is, unlike other areas with these floating blocks, these ones never stop. They will push you into spikes, they will destroy you, they will do all kinds of nastiness to you. So there are an unusual number of save points in this area. It's not strictly possible to make this area unwinnable, but it's quite possible to make it much more difficult on yourself, like I have already done here. Especially since falling rocks are basically atomic bombs, apparently. Yeah, there are 3 save points in this area. It's nuts. And as you may have noticed, my health is suffering somewhat from this. I mean, in the game. This area is painful in different ways than you might think. Oh, there's the last save point. So we're just gonna head over there. Alright. Now, we need to be careful, and I have already failed at that. Well, I did this flawlessly in practice, but anyone who's watched a speedrun knows that isn't everything. Okay, so I have just owned myself. I did not fall like that on purpose, at least I hope I didn't. Okay. No. Oh man. This is nuts. Well. Rocks fall, Jason dies. I have a feeling I know what I did wrong, so we can just correct that. I mean, I hope we can correct that. Ow. Thankfully, this is the last of, well, these puzzle planetoids. Okay, from here on it's going to be relatively smooth sailing because now I can rely on all of these other blocks to get to the end. And there we go! And we have now maxed out our special energy. We're going to need to replenish our character weapon energy somewhere else. But first, let's talk to Stein. Okay, we need a spaceship booster. Thankfully, we know a ship that is currently not using their booster. But before we do any of that, there's one last item we need to get here. I can't believe I forgot to get it the first time I was here, especially seeing how important these kinds of things are. Because the item we're going to get is the last life extender. Not much to say, though. There aren't going to be any special bosses or anything like that. However, we still need to deal with these, switch puzzles. The one in here is pretty simple, though. Especially once you've destroyed the enemies with terrain-piercing weapons. Okay, you need to hit these switch to block off these, ice blows. But then you need to go back around by another way and hit the switch to turn the green pillars back off. It's not terribly complicated. Okay, so now we're actually going to try out the acceleration booster once I remember to equip it. Yeah, there we go. Removes Jason's power limiters. Yeah, basically, it doesn't use ammo, it just lasts for a certain amount of time. So you get a certain amount of time of all of the acceleration blasts that you want. Well, all the acceleration rifle that you want. And there we go. So we are out of here and back to the colony ship. It's a pretty quick trip back. And one of the other benefits of this collection mission with Stein is that he's right at the entrance to this area. We don't have to go anywhere deeper into the planet. So back to Area C with us, and it's right here. No wait, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. So back to Blaze Tackle, because we're going to have to bust through some barriers again, even though we already did that. But much like with the coins and the herb we did in the other quests, the location of the booster is marked on the map. So we should be in and out fairly quickly. As long as I remember how to get down there. Nope, this isn't it either. And well, this kind of thing will happen when you haven't been back to an area in a while. But I think the colony ship is the easiest one to re-navigate when you go back, because the charge tackle and drill thing basically make going anywhere you want absolutely trivial here. Because you have to deal with none of the barriers that you had to deal with the first time through. Yeah, see, we've already only been here for a couple of minutes, and the booster is right up here. And I'll just be taking that. The other thing that makes it easier is that the Blaze Tackle is invincible and allows you to just rush right through these flame traps. So all we need to do is get out of here and we're through. Assuming I remember the correct ways of getting out of here, which is not a given. But this looks promising. Oh, whoops, this is the entirely wrong area. No, this is the right way out. So now we just need to make it back to Planet F. Well, Planet DeVito, in Sector F. Brain, work better, good. Shades. Wonderful. Well, maybe you can. Thank you. And that's the last of the emblems. So that's it for now. See ya at Endgame.